We just saw Avengers Infinity War, and we're about to do a spoiler review. So, spoilers are ahead. Don't watch if you don't want to know.
Today on the show.
Good morning, Scallywags. We just walked out of the theater from seeing Avengers Infinity War.
2.5 hours of splendid goodness.
Wow, that's
magnificent.
In a word, just wow.
I don't know that we can do a review justice. There's so much going on in this movie.
There's
guys.
a lot to cover, so we're just going to kind of hit some of the highlights and things. And again, there will be spoilers.
You've been warned.
You've been warned. So
here there be dragons.
Yes. If you don't want to know or you have not seen it, if you are half of the population that Thanos erased, spoiler.
So before we
before
we get into spoiler territory, let's kind of talk about the actual film as a film. So I will say that there are parts of this that I liked, I didn't love. The movie as a whole, awesome. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I didn't enjoy it by any means. But, you've got the Guardians of the Galaxy story going on. You've got Thor's story going on. You've got Tony and these guys' story. You've got Cap and his story and stuff like that. And each one of these little story arcs that are taking place have a totally different tone, a totally different feel. So it kind of felt like it was all over the place. Yeah. Now, it worked, but it was weird. Just weird. I don't know. Just something about it. Just
I disagree. I think that the best part of it is you got to see these little snippets of everybody's arc, and then, bam, you're in Wakanda, and everything. The last.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Just the last 2 hours of the movie comes together when it happens. And I like how each little segment had a different feel. I mean, you had a different feel with Tony and Strange and Peter Parker and Peter Parker not really knowing what to do because, oh my God, Tony, what do I do? You're Doctor Strange.
I'm supposed to be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and now all of a sudden I'm in space.
And then, what did we call right though? What did we call right on our
which part?
On the last couple of last Thursday's episodes, we called it that the Iron Spider would be summoned to sort of catch
from when he started running out of air.
We called that.
Originally last Thursday's episode was going to be a fake spoiler review of the movie, but with me being in the hospital and everything, that didn't get to happen. So we decided we're just going to do a real one instead, and there's a man on a bike here. The only other thing I've got, and this is nitpicky type stuff, granted, but the only other thing that I've got is that certain aspects of the movie felt rushed to me. Thor's arc specifically. I don't know. It's like the opening scene happens, and then he's with the Guardians, and then he's over here to the Starforge, and then he's back in Wakanda. It just felt, I don't know.
I don't know that you could have done it any other way, though.
Without making this like a 5-part movie.
We're not making Lord of the Rings 6 movies.
Right.
Here,
like I said, that is nitpicking.
Everyone has to get their time in the camera.
Yeah, and that is nitpicking. But that was just something that I don't know. But I will say, for a 2.5, almost 3 hour long movie, it felt like it was an hour and a half long.
Yeah,
it was just.
It had a lot of quick pacing, no slow moments,
nothing.
And even and what we were saying on the live is the slowest moment, guys, was when you found Vision and Scarlet Witch in Scotland, and even then was like 5 minutes I love you, and
but it was important to the story.
It was important,
very important to the story, because it was one of the biggest things that happens at the end of the movie.
You could tell something was about to drop.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You can tell the whole time this is going on. You're just any second an anvil is
something is going to happen. So let's move it here a little bit forward. The funniest scene I liked was. In all honesty, where Hulk gets the crap beat out of him by Thanos.
All right.
And it sets a psychological tone for Bruce Banner as far as his character goes.
This is basically the opening scene of the movie. So again, here come the spoilers. Be prepared. We open with the Asgardian ship. So we don't get to see the Power Stone getting taken. We don't get to see the destruction of Xandar.
But we called that one too, was Xandar.
Yes.
Called that.
So pretty much all the Asgardians are dead.
Yep, there are no Thor's
all
it.
of it. Thor later on said half my people,
Yeah,
but we never see that half of them. So Heimdall is laying there dying, and so the only people that you actually see are Thor and
Heimdall
Loki. Which I
and
wonder,
Loki.
where is Valkyrie?
I don't know.
We never hear
saw no
anything
shit.
about her.
But I like the little
Maybe the
throwback.
next
I like the
movie.
I like it. I like the throwback when he's choking the life out of Loki.
We have a Hulk. Suddenly Hulk comes in, boom, boom, boom. Hulk gets the ever-living crap beat out of him.
Yeah.
We see Hulk bleed.
Yeah,
And
it's-
laying there
you-
unconscious.
You remember in the first Avengers movie, the smackdown that the Hulk laid on Loki?
That's
Yeah.
what he got.
Not exactly the same, but
But
of that
Jesus,
caliber.
pretty much.
you
that's
could
what
just see
Thanos
the
The
you
Hulk-
could see the fear.
Yeah, the Hulk
In
was
the Hulk's
bleeding.
face.
The
Yeah.
Hulk was bleeding and unconscious.
And so there you got
And
Heimdall.
Heimdall uses his last bit of energy to Bifrost him to
Bifrost
Earth.
him to Earth.
Um,
Which, wow, he crashed. The exchange between Strange and Wong, though, right there,
Yes.
I killed for a tuna. Bam! I will say this much: for as a important story that they're telling as far as the MCU goes, it had a lot of humor in it.
Oh,
Yes,
There was,
yes.
and I think that's the only way you could take away from this overwhelming dread that you knew was going to happen going into the movies. You interlace it with a lot of humor, and there
Yeah.
was definitely a lot of humor.
The only thing that bothered me about that, and it had nothing to do with the actual movie itself, but like a joke would drop, and as we mentioned, the story does not slow down. Everything is constantly pushing forward.
Yeah.
So like a joke would drop, and everyone starts laughing, but there's
But you're
not,
on to the next scene.
but they don't have that pause that you would have in a lot of comedies and things. The next line of dialogue comes
Yeah.
out, and you have no idea what they said because everyone's laughing.
Yeah, because everyone's laughing, doing their own
Yeah.
thing.
So basically, so Loki dies. First 5 minutes of the
First
movie.
5 minutes of the movie sets the whole tone.
I mean,
yeah.
well,
No, he's dead.
no, he's dead.
He's
I mean,
dead.
Thanos even said no resurrections this time.
Well, we don't know because,
But-
I mean, again, it's a whole
It's
other
it was-
movie.
he is the
coming.
god of
brutal.
mischief.
Yes, and
It
it was
is
a
brutal.
brutal
He chokes him out and then just done.
So we
Done.
then go to Earth. The Black Order shows up. We have a fight with, you got Doctor Strange and Wong. You've got Spider-Man. You've got Iron Man against, and then you've got Bruce Banner trying to turn into the Hulk, and the Hulk keeps
Just
popping
like,
out and saying
"No!"
no. The Hulk is scared.
The Hulk is scared.
You never see Hulk again through the rest
Yeah,
of this
nope,
whole movie.
That's it.
Yeah, just too scared to come out.
That was a pretty good fight. I mean, that was a really intense because you had this give and take between Stark and Strange there. Who's going to be the leader? Who's
Yeah.
going to be? You don't. I'm
This
somebody
total
you
power
don't
play.
own.
Yeah, right.
You know, what is the word? Somebody you don't work for. I don't
Yeah,
work for.
yeah, yeah.
And they catch that in space. But yeah.
So,
Wow,
God, I mean, trying to think of like how to cover all of this. I mean,
It's-
geez.
So they go into space, and the spaceship is taking them to Titan. Which, if you don't know, another spoiler. Hey, that's Thanos' home world.
Yeah.
Then we cut back to the Guardians of the Galaxy after Thor, Rocket, and Groot separate.
Well, first they find Thor. He destroys the
Yeah.
ship. Thor's floating out in space.
Yeah.
You see that in the trailer. So they pick Thor up. He kind of tells them all about this thing, and keeps saying he needs a new hammer. He's got to
He's
go
got a
back
new
to the
hammer.
place
Gotta have a new hammer.
where Mjolnir was made. So he, Rocket, and Groot separate to go to this forge to get a new weapon that can kill Thanos. And that scene was great. Peter Dinklage is a giant.
Peter Dinklage is a giant.
Peter
Yes.
Dinklage.
A
And
giant
here's
dwarf.
the thing, though. Yeah, Peter Dinklage was a dwarf, but he's the biggest character in the movie.
Yeah, I mean, easily 20, 30
bigger,
feet tall.
20, 30 feet tall. I mean, Chris Hemsworth's 6 foot tall, and he's like, how
Yeah.
you doing?
So, so they make the Stormbreaker there. So, I mean, we're
bouncing around. We're flying through
this, and then telling it kind of out of order here. But there's so much.
Yes.
So God.
They forge Stormbreaker. Then we
Yeah.
can flip back over to the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well,
Gamora gets taken by Thanos.
yeah. It's so Star Lord and Drax and Mantis meet up with
And
Doctor
on
Strange.
Nowhere.
Yeah,
on Nowhere.
No, they meet up with Strange and Stark on Titan.
on Titan.
They go to
on Titan.
Nowhere
Yeah.
to talk to the Collector. Now, the Collector, if you remember back in Thor Dark World, that's where the Reality Stone is kept. Well, they go through, and Gamora thinks she kills Thanos, which was a great scene
Yes.
because here Thanos is dying, and she's having this emotional moment, and you're just knowing something's not right,
Yeah.
something's not, and then everything
this
shifts.
Yeah,
It
he's
gave
already
me-
got the
he's already
stone.
got the stone.
He's already destroyed Nowhere.
Yeah. Nowhere
the
is
Collector's
gone.
dead. Yeah, Nowhere is deserted. The whole thing.
Yep.
So he takes Gamora, and so then Star-Lord and these guys, they meet up on the big ring ship where you find Tony and Spider-Man and thing. They have a big fight until they find out that they're all there for the same purpose.
Which was kind of cool because
The
you're
fight was
human, I'm
hilarious.
human, we're all human here.
Yeah.
The oh god, where did it go to from there? So
Um,
the Soul Stone is on Vermeer. Was that the name
Vermeer,
of it?
and
Vermeer.
that's where you get to see
And the
Hugo Weaving.
Red Skull.
Red Skull is back.
in the movie. So
Now-
and he's now the keeper
He's
of
now
the Soul
keeper,
Stone.
but wait a minute. I mean, Hugo Weaving, when he re-signed, he did sign for 2 more movies.
Yeah.
So he's going to be in the next Avengers.
Well, maybe. I mean, or he's
but
just
I
gonna come
can't
back
just see that the Red Skull is going to sit on this planet being an eternal guardian. I
Well, he
can't-
has no purpose there
yeah,
anymore.
he has
so
no purpose there. 'cause the
So
Soul Stone's
he basically
gone.
tells Thanos that in order to get the Soul Stone, that he has to sacrifice something that he loves, a soul for a soul. So Gamora basically starts laughing at Thanos, saying, "You don't love anything.
Yeah,
you
there's
kill
no point in
everything.
it.
You don't love anything." And it cuts to Thanos, and he's literally crying.
Yeah.
And he just looks at her and says, "I'm sorry," and just tosses her off a
Tosses
cliff.
her off like it's nothing.
So goodbye, Gamora.
Yep.
So, oh god, back on Titan.
Back on Titan.
Yeah, tight.
Thanos shows up, and so he's, there's all these guys instead of the Black Order. Well, there's Doctor Strange.
There's
sitting
Doctor
there
Strange sitting
with
there.
the Time Stone, and
They have an
well, oh wait,
expositional moment.
first though, they're all sitting there waiting for before Thanos gets there, and Doctor Strange is like flipping out,
Yeah.
and twitching and doing all this stuff.
I looked through 14
14,605 possible futures.
And how many did we win?
One.
So that sets up the ending of the movie, which
Yeah.
you're like, oh, this is going to be it, but nobody other characters know, which I really like the fact, because here you've got, again, that dichotomy between Strange and Stark. What's this? What's going on? How could you do that? How could you not do that? Again, we're jumping around. We're
Yeah.
really chaotic, and I apologize for this review. Then we're going to flip back. Where
So,
do we go next?
Thanos arrives on
Thanos
Titan.
arrives. They have this huge fight.
They have a big fight, and
Epic.
Mantis jumps on. She's putting
She's
him
doing
into
her
a trance,
things.
and it's working. I mean, the gauntlet is coming off,
You
and
almost get it off, but you know what? Peter Quill it up. I said that. I'm sorry.
So
Yeah,
they
Bleep that out. Bleep that
But
out.
he did.
Peter Quill jumps up, and he's basically, "Where's Gamora?" And it comes out that she's dead.
Yeah.
So Peter flips out, and basically he flips out and starts blasting at Thanos, which makes him wake up basically, and so. Whoops! Got the gauntlet
Yeah,
back.
got
I
the
mean,
gauntlet back,
it was
and then he
over.
just-
It
yeah,
was
it was
over.
done.
They had
It
it
was-
off.
Spider-Man was this.
It was
It
almost
literally,
this far
as it
away.
reached the edge of his finger, he grabbed hold.
He
Yeah.
grabbed it, and then that you knew everything at that
Yeah.
point was done.
And
the beatdown commences.
yeah, that's where you see the moon getting thrown at them and all of this stuff. And
literally
When
pulled the
you
moon
drop
off.
a moon on me, I'm gonna get mad.
drop another moon on me, and I'm gonna get mad. So he beats Tony to such an extent that the bleeding edge armor is broken. Like
Yeah,
it
will
stops
not.
healing.
Nanotech will not heal.
Right, and so from there, it just Thanos basically so Tony makes this big knife thing, stabs at Thanos, he breaks it off, stabs Tony through the stomach, and it's all the way through.
Yeah.
And Doctor Strange steps up and he says, "Spare his life, and I'll give you the Time Stone,"
Which he does.
and he does. And,
Of course, this is the bigger picture now. Now you see why the
basically-
one was that
Yeah.
he saw.
basically we have to lose in order to win.
Yep.
He tells Tony this was the only way.
Yep.
Yeah.
So now we go to Wakanda. They've
God.
Oh Jesus! Where do you start
after
with Wakanda?
after they've
I
already
mean,
faced the Black Order once and Vision got his butt kicked, so they take Vision to Wakanda to protect him, and they're trying to remove the Mind Stone from him, which is a very long process.
But now you forgot about the White Wolf.
Oh yeah, the little
yes.
nod to the White Wolf was
Yes.
in there. There
Well,
were
that
a
was
lot
in-
of
that was
these-
in the after credit
there was-
scene.
but I'm
Black
telling you,
Panther.
there were so many little nods and Easter eggs. I mean, the video game group playing was the Defenders.
Yeah.
There was just a lot of Easter
And I
eggs.
swear, in New York, I could have been wrong on this, but I swear there was just a random guy that ran past the camera. I could be wrong here, but I could swear he was wearing a Punisher t-shirt.
He might have been. There were so many. I was picking out Easter guys. There are so many Easter eggs
God,
here.
yeah.
I don't even know that you're going to be able to do an Easter egg
Yeah.
review until the DVD comes
Right.
out, where you can frame it by frame it.
So, Black Order and the Outriders arrive. They attack Wakanda. Huge, big blowout fight scene, right?
I mean, think Helm's Deep, but on a much grander
Yeah.
scale.
Yeah.
The 5 tribes of Wakanda.
Yes. Along with all of our heroes
All
at
of
this
our
point.
heroes at this
Yeah.
point.
Except for, Tony,
Spidey.
Tony, the Guardians, and Spider-Man and Doctor Strange are still on Titan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But everyone else is in Wakanda fighting now. And it was explained earlier that Scarlet Witch is the only one powerful enough to destroy an Infinity Stone.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of the contingency plan the whole time, is if Vision's life is
In
imminent,
danger,
then
if Thanos
she
is coming, she needs to destroy.
she will destroy Vision and the Mind Stone.
Mind Stone.
I mean, the plan was to take it out, and then she would just destroy the stone, and all is well.
Yeah.
But of course, he shows up before that can happen, and
Convenient.
yeah. So she blows up,
She blows up
blows him
Vision.
up.
She blows him up.
and
But wait.
Thanos is just like, oh,
What does he have? Oh, he's got the time stone. So he just
Stone, backs it
turns
up,
back.
Yeah.
Then the
rips
other,
it out.
Other look of just intense fear on Scarlet Witch's face was phenomenal. She did a great job.
yes.
But you forgot about Thor and Rocket
Oh
showing
yeah,
Oh, yeah, Thor and
God,
Rocket show up.
Stormbreaker is amazing.
Just Thor is
Jesus.
like.
So right
up.
after
Thought
he
Mjolnir was.
You thought
he
Mjolnir
gets,
had some power.
so he's got the Mind Stone. He drops it in. Power rushes through him, and about that time, Thor shows up. Stormbreaker stabbing Thanos in the chest. Thanos drops down, and he's dying.
He's dying.
he is-
Thor is shoving it into his chest.
And then Thanos goes,
You should have gone for the head.
Snap.
Done. And then everything goes to white.
Yeah.
And then we're left with Thanos coming to the realization
Now,
that he is.
interesting thing is the gauntlet was
The
all
gauntlet was
all crushed. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Which
toast.
makes me wonder if Doctor Strange didn't give him a fake
Time
time stone or something.
Possibly, I don't know. It's kind of one of those things. Maybe the combination between Stormbreaker basically
Something. I don't know.
splitting the
I mean, we
entire
know that the next
power
movie is
of
going to
the-
involve time travel.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
mean,
Or maybe when the dwarves made the gauntlet that
the dwarves
There was
dwarves
another
always
gauntlet.
tend to make things with at least a flaw, and this is a nod back to Hephaestus in Greek mythology, that the dwarves always had a chink in some armor or something.
and we
that they
do see
made.
another version of the gauntlet
see
there
another
in the
version of the
forge,
gauntlet,
or
yes.
that could have just been a mold for it. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But then Thanos has the moment with Gamora, and the thing that
the
was asked,
flashback to her as a
the
child.
flashback to her, was it worth it?
What was the cost?
What was the
Yeah.
cost?
The
And
cost.
he goes, everything.
And here comes the big.
Here comes the
twist.
big twist. Here comes
Spoiler
the big spoiler. Turn it off now if
This
you don't want
is,
to hear any more. But
We've always known that whenever that finger snap came, that it was going to be half of life would die
you got some, and they were very poignant
within a
deaths.
2 or 3 minute scene.
You lost.
Bucky, Scarlet Witch.
No, Scarlet Witch
Bla-
was still there.
Well,
The-
I mean, I'm not going in order
Oh.
necessarily, but
Yeah.
Black Panther,
Peter Parker,
Quill, Drax, Mantis,
Falcon.
Groot.
Groot is gone.
I think that's everybody.
I think that's everybody. That is
not
everybody.
including the ad.
Not
yeah.
including.
So and basically just everyone sitting around like what just happened?
What happened? What happened?
And then we see Thanos sitting in his little hut, basically on this nice little,
Breathing,
tropical-
relaxing.
just yeah.
And then
taking
we
a
got
sigh
the
of relief.
entire phone book
Roll
of
the credits.
known world. The entire phone book of the known world.
So what is our after credit scene?
Whoa!
Back in New York, we see Nick Fury and Maria Hill
Talking about
talking
all
about how
of the
they can't get a
chaos
hold
that's
of and how Tony hasn't checked in and all this stuff. Car crashes in front of them. They wreck into the car, so they get out. Maria runs up to the car and he's
Nobody's there. Nobody's
she's like-
there.
Yeah, he's like, "Is
then
everybody
you can see
okay?"
the chaos happening. Cars going everywhere.
Helicopter crashes
crashes
into a building, and suddenly Maria is just like, "Nick,"
and she fades away.
Fades away.
And then Nick
Cut
runs
to Nick.
through.
He runs back to the car in a panic, picks up this little communicator
Looks like a
looking
beeper.
thing,
Looks like
Yeah,
a
looks like a
looks like a
1980s
19 pager.
and
Yeah.
he turns to Ash
As he's
right as he
pushing
goes,
the-
"Mother."
gone. So then the
But
pager
right as his
hits the
hand starts to
ground.
drop, he hits the button, and it says "sending ... symbol of Captain Marvel."
So there you go, guys. There's
So there you go.
our spoiler-filled quick review of Avengers
Avengers
Infinity War Part 1.
Yeah, so go even knowing what you know now.
Go see the movie.
See
Go
it.
see
It
the
is
movie. It is amazing.
This
Absolutely
movie
amazing.
does not sweep the academies.
You know, it's not
And
gonna.
what you know what the most impressive thing was to me though, I know special effects have gotten really good or whatever, but like Thanos looked real.
Yeah, Thanos looked. I mean,
he looked absolutely
Yeah,
real.
for a 12-foot Titan.
yeah. I mean, there were a lot
yeah.
of really. Hey, let's just go ahead while we're here. We made a lot of nods in the theater, and there's a scene that is very reminiscent of Attack of the Clones. And there are I heard a lot of people in there talking about it.
And I was actually talking to a guy outside the theater afterwards, and he even made the same mention there. But it wasn't Attack of the Clones; it was Phantom Menace.
Phantom Menace, yeah.
But the shield over Wakanda and all the
shield,
Outriders
like, yeah.
attacking and everything, it was like the Gungans.
It was like the Gungans
Yeah.
were back, and that was just a great scene. There were so many nods to so many different Disney movies and Disney properties and Marvel, and Stan Lee's cameo was great. He was the bus driver. He was the bus driver.
Yeah, you see that scene with Peter going out of the bus to go to the flying ship and everything. So, favorite scene, favorite part?
I got to go right off the bat. I mean, they didn't waste any time.
That opening scene.
The opening scene where the Black Order is doing their thing, and you see the silhouette of Thanos, and you know exactly business is picked up.
Chapo?
Okay. Well, my favorite quick scene, and this one, I'm not going to spoil it for you. You're going to have to watch this. There's a scene between Bucky and Rocket.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
No,
that was
no.
awesome.
We'll leave it alone. Leave it
Yeah.
alone. Watch the movie.
My
Watch
favorite
the movie.
long-term progression. They did with Thanos what I absolutely love when they do this with a villain. You start out, you're looking at him and you hate him. It's like, I hate him.
And I want to throw out here that this is not an Avengers movie. This is
this is
Thanos
not-
the movie
this is Thanos.
co-starring the Avengers.
Yeah, this is.
And as it
100%
goes
that.
on, and Thanos talks more and more about his plan and why he's doing what he
You
is.
actually care about the villain.
Yeah.
You actually
And
start
that's
to go,
rough.
in a sick kind
In a
of way.
twisted
I
way.
You see
hate
his
to
side of
admit
things.
it.
I can see his
He
side.
makes sense.
Yes.
In the big picture, long term, he's not wrong.
Yeah.
He's just.
But-
It's
Favorite
a-
part for me was probably the death scene. I mean, it happened so quickly, and I mean, there's so little dialogue
bam,
during
bam,
that.
bam.
Yeah.
But, I mean, all those
Parker's
characters, they die
Oh,
in the
God.
course of. Oh God! Yeah,
Oh
I mean,
God! Parker's death.
He's
went
basically,
right
I
here.
don't want to go.
Just
I don't
right-
want to
right
go.
here.
I don't want to go.
Right here.
Yeah.
It will
And-
pull the tears out of your head.
He's scared. He's crying. I don't want to go. I
He
don't want
acts
to. As
like
he's
a
starting
teenager
to
would-
turn to
would do
ash,
that.
and he lays down, and that's that scene you see in the trailer where
And
he
then-
says, "I'm sorry," and then just.
And then you see the immediate heartbreak in Tony.
Oh,
It's like
God.
all of a sudden, was it all worth it? Tony immediately began, was this all worth it?
I'm responsible for this kid
responsible
being
for
here.
this.
So I mean, just wow. I
Which
mean,
is a
so
throwback to Homecoming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When Stark says, "If you die, it's on,
it's on
me."
Yeah.
Yeah. There were a lot of
And
nods
so-
to a lot of
yeah,
other movies.
So it would be a combination of the mass death scene or
Yeah.
the opening scene. Yeah.
Yeah, look at it this
Just
way,
seeing
guys.
the Hulk get his butt kicked
Oh,
and bleeding unconscious.
10 years we have been leading up to this point. 10 years, and it was 120% worth it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So there you have it, guys. Go see the movie. Once you do, let us know your favorite scene.
Yeah,
Put it down in the
put it in the
comments
comments
below.
below.
Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Yep. You're here on the YouTubes. Continue to do those YouTubes, liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing.
Yep.
Hey, while you're on the Facebook,
Yeah, get you
one
a
of
show
these.
t-shirt or get you one of these.
The hoodies, yeah.
hoodies.
Long sleeve, short sleeve, $22, and the hoodie is $25.
Yeah, just send us a private message on Facebook letting us know what color and what size and color.
Color combination.
Configuration
We are
and
still
things.
so in awe of this
Yes.
last movie, guys. So go see it. We cannot say that enough. Go see it. Go see it. Go see it.
Go see it. Go see
Go
it multiple
see it
times.
multiple times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let us know what you think.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys back here on Monday. Bye.
We're the staff at Schultz and Dooley's, and here's your Russian clip of the day.
Hey guys, thanks for watching that video. We hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, and if you liked what you see, go ahead and click on our faces to go ahead and subscribe to get all of our Monday through Friday stuff.
Indeed. And here's a couple of links down below that you can follow to watch more shows like it. Tons of great content right here at Scallywag Productions. We'll see you tomorrow.